We were on a run at the time, and I was thinking about I was either going to quit netball or I was thinking about going over and playing in the English Super League. And she was my boss at the time, so she didn't want me to leave work. But she just pretty much said to me, the reason you haven't made it is because you don't know how to work hard. So I started playing pretty much because I wanted to be like my sisters, and I think at the time they were very annoyed with me, but now they claim that because of that, I'm playing professionally because of them. When you're 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, natural talent will get you probably into teams, but there will become a point where people are just as talented as you. And if people have that work ethic, that's probably more what coaches look at, especially when you start making it into elite teams. It's not just about the person you are on the court. Coaches also look at the person that you are off the court as well, and what your work ethic is like at training and even in life as well. So I was a starting 7 player in teams where people were much older than me, and then it got to a point where then I was benched in those teams, and then not making teams, and it took me a long time to realise what it was, and it actually took quite a hard conversation with a friend, but she just pretty much said to me, the reason you haven't made it is because you don't know how to work hard and you don't put the effort into your fitness and your skills. You rely on a lot of your ability to read the game. So that conversation happened, and then probably for a year I gave myself a year to do everything that I could to make it to an elite team or a professional team. And sometimes we would get given, say, a program, and it was optional, so I would always take okay, well, it's optional, I don't need to do it. But in that year, I definitely was like, all right, well, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do those things. And that was probably one thing I didn't want to get later in life, and people say, oh, you were so talented, you were so talented. And if I had those what ifs, that would have been a massive regret for me. So I probably listened to or reflected on the feedback that I probably had got from coaches who didn't select me, or the reason, even if they hadn't said it to me directly, they'd said it to a coach who then had told me. At the time, I was listening to the people who were saying to me, oh, you should be in that team, you should make that team. They weren't making the decisions, and I was putting all my time and effort into listening to that, and it was just justifying things for me. And then when I started listening to them, and they were like, well, we don't think she's fit enough to run a game out, her skills under fatigue can sometimes falter. So I worked really hard on my fitness that year. I dropped weight because I had probably a little bit of weight that was on me that I didn't need, and I got into the gym. It now kind of has switched to, okay, well, what do I need to perform, or what do I need for a certain training session to make sure that I get the most out of that training session? So throughout that probably switched a little bit too, is just having more information at my hands and me learning it, rather than also someone just handing you something to do, actually learning what works for me. And those things I worked really hard on throughout that 2014, and again by the end of that season I had a contract with the New South Wales Swifts. Sue Gordian, I think, was definitely one. I think she was actually a big part of probably my little bit of the mind shift from learning how to work hard. And the other person who was also down at the Institute at the time was Kylie Byrne. She's very personable, so we kind of have that personal relationship, and she can understand how I tick, and she knows how probably to annoy me a little bit to be able to get the best out of me, but she's definitely had a big influence on me throughout my career. Laura Langman's probably had a big part. I was lucky enough to live with her my second year down when I was at the New South Wales Swifts, and she just kind of taught, just living with her, she kind of just taught me, I think, a little bit more about balance in life, making sure not everything is netball, that you do have that outside thing, because netball can sometimes not be going great. You need to have that other stimulation, I guess, in your life. So she's probably been a big mentor for me, and she probably continually is. Her being back this year has been awesome for me, just to bounce ideas off and kind of debriefing about training, and kind of she has a different approach to things, which I think is really cool. And I think what's been cool about this year too, in previous years I'd probably just listened to everything that she said, but now I'm actually probably bouncing back off her and being like, oh, well, do you think that? And I think that's just only helping me to grow as a player and a person.